Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Hoy es viernes el 23 de octubre o lunes el 26 de octubre. Para empezar tenemos un warm-up question, una pregunta para empezar la clase hoy. ¿Cuáles son las actividades más populares de Liberty? So list, as you did for your homework, some of the most popular activities for Liberty. That's today's homework. ¿Y tú qué dices? Página 52 was your homework assignment for today. We'll review your responses to that. Those 4 questions for exercise 9. Página 52. ¿Y tú qué dices? We'll then go over the group practice that we didn't have time to do last class. That's on pages 50 and 51. Ejercicio 6, 5 y 4. El vocabulario en uso, utilizing the vocabulary that we looked at last week with regard to extracurriculars. And then we're going to start the grammar lesson for this, one of the 2 grammar lessons for this chapter, and that's making comparisons. If you click here, should take you to a PowerPoint, which corresponds with page 53. Both page 53 and this PowerPoint will walk you through the grammar of making comparisons of inequality, describing how things are not equal to one another, using the adverbs más and menos, más meaning more, menos meaning less, and both of these are always accompanied by an adjective. Could be accompanied by a verb to be adverbs, but in this case we're just using adjectives to say how something is more or less blank than the other, right? More or less interesting, more or less big. Always a descriptive adjective for the purposes of this grammar lesson with más and menos. That's a review of what you guys already probably looked at last year. And again, we call those comparisons of inequality. But today we're going to look at comparisons of equality. And we'll get there eventually. There we are. So for comparisons of equality, we use the following construction. Tan, adjective or adverb, and como. Tan, adjective or adverb, and como. So an adjective would go in the middle here like grande, like interesante, like inteligente, to say that 2 things are as blank as one another, right? Tan rico como, as tasty as. Tan divertido como, as fun as. Tan, adjective, como, to indicate how 2 things are the same. With tanto, both of these tan and tanto mean as many, or as much, or just as. Tan, adjective, como, as blank as. We do this in English, right? To compare 2 things that are the same. Tanto is different, though. You can see that whereas tan is used with adjectives, tanto is used with countable nouns to say that in terms of quantity, 2 things are the same. I'll show you an example of that. Yo probé tantos platos como él. I tried as many dishes. Platos are dishes. That's a noun. It's a countable noun. And with nouns, we use tanto. And we'll talk about some of the variations of tanto that we use as well. All right, so that's the main grammar lesson for today. And then for practice, we're going to do exercises. Let's see here. 10 and 11, if I'm not mistaken. Out of the textbook. Yeah, guided practice exercises 10 and 11 in la página 53. So if you'll go there, we'll do those together, go over the correct answers, and kind of start off that grammar concept of making comparisons. So that is the agenda for today. Viernes el 23 de octubre o lunes el 26.